So YG Entertainment, one of the big three labels in the K-pop world today. Home to such artists such as Big Bang, 21, Psy, 7, Winner, and iKon, this label is one of the most powerful in K-pop today. Yet, as you guys can guess from this title, I feel like YG's been slipping in recent years and losing some of its luster and high standing. So we're going to talk about why I feel that YG is on a slow decline. So YG was created by Young Hyun-suk, better known as YG today, and he was part of a group called Siltagian Boys back in the 90s. And after he left Siltagian Boys, he created his own company called YG Entertainment back in 1996. And from there, he's been part of K-pop lexicon for the past 22 years. Now, for much of modern K-pop history, YG had this unique position of being sandwiched in between SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment. Whereas SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment focused on catchy bubblegum pop songs and dance tunes, YG had a unique angle on music. YG did a blend of both pop and hip-hop songs and promoting indie music under subsidiary independent labels. YG is also known to have some of the best music producers in the business, such as Teddy Park from One Time. And of course, the company is known to have Psy, which you might have heard of from the song Gangnam Style, which went viral back in 2012. But I would say the company hit gold in 2006 when they debuted their boy group, Big Bang. And Big Bang was their actual first male idol group ever. And this is really interesting because back in 2006, it's been 10 years since YG was founded, and YG went against the grain. They didn't have a boy nor girl idol group, whereas SM and JYP Entertainments were definitely getting into the idol business. 3 years later, YG followed up with the sister group of Big Bang called 21, one of the most successful girl groups of all time. And from 2012, as mentioned earlier, they had Psy and his viral hit Gangnam Style. In fact, I would say at the end of 2012 was probably the high peak of YG. You had Psy, Big Bang, and 21 all at the peak of their careers, as well as in-house artists such as Epik High under subsidiary labels, and you can see all the success and talent that YG had in-house. So what happened between the end of 2012 and present day of 2018, and why I feel that YG is slipping a bit? I feel that YG had a couple of problems that is leading to their slow decline over the past couple of years. And some of these problems include a lack of focus on their groups, a long delay between a singer's album and their next album, the failure in handling of Mixnine, and the lack of marketing that their groups get. So first, let's talk about a lack of focus. And one of the big examples I can bring is Winner. Now, Winner was one of the two groups that came from a reality music program called Win Who Was Next. And they were known to be the next Big Bang because YG knew in the back of their minds that Big Bang can't continue forever as the kings of K-pop, and eventually they need a successor in place. So Winner it was. And while Winner had some pretty good songs such as Coloring and Empty, after those songs debuted, it felt like YG did this total 180 and went to iKon instead. And iKon was the other group from the show Win Who Was Next. It felt like Winner, the original winner of that show, actually sat on the sidelines just going on some TV shows, but that's really about it. And after that, the second group of that Win Who Was Next show, iKon, actually became more popular than the actual winners of that show, Winner, just because YG put a lot more emphasis on promoting iKon than Winner. And I feel that's really a bad focusing problem because if you're going to have Winner be the next Big Bang, then shouldn't you put a lot of focus and marketing into Winner? It just makes sense. And two more examples of a lack of focus is Epik High and Akdong Musician. And both were known for having good vocals and catchy music. And I remember hearing both their songs on radios, cafes, and TV shows when I lived in Seoul during 2012, 2013, and 2014. But it felt like after they debuted with their latest single or album, and around maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, you would never hear about them again. They would be locked in like the YG dungeon. And it must be frustrating if you're an artist, especially a newcomer. You want to go out with a bang. You want to come out with a lot of hype coming out with your debut single. And after about a few weeks, you're just largely forgotten. And it really just kills all the momentum you had as a new rookie singer that's looking to break through in the K-pop industry. Next is the big delay between a group's previous album and current album. Now, I understand that a group should rest and just chill before their next album. They got to get ready, learn the singing the parts, choreography, and whatnot. But when there's a couple of years between albums, it just really hurts a group's promotion, and people will probably just forget about that group or singer. Take, for instance, Epik High, who debuted back in 2013 with their album First Love. But then it took 3 years for its 2016 album Soul Light to come out. And 3 years in the K-pop world is a long time. Now I understand if a group has to take a break, a couple months here and there, just because they have to recharge and learns a new song, sings a new song, and learns the choreography, or if a group is on military service for the guys. There was also a 3-year hiatus in 21 singles between 2014 and 2017 with Goodbye. And I know 21 had some troubles in 2014, or in 2016, Minzy did leave 21. And I felt that she felt frustrated that she would never debut with YG, and eventually just said, the only way I'm going to debut is just to leave the group and company. Then we have the spiritual successors to 21, Blackpink. They released their hit extended play, Square Up, on June 15th, 2018 to much fanfare. Their video, Do 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 Do, passed over 10 million views in just over 6 hours and showed that there's a lot of fans that are all about Blackpink. Yet for much of the hype they had behind them, before Square Up, they only had 5 songs to their name. It was a long time since their last extended play, Square One, back in August 2016. Blackpink also joined the ranks of Instagram recently, with each member passing over 1.8 million members in just 2 days. However, despite strong views and popularity, Blackpink actually didn't hit their full potential, and YG's lack of focus in marketing are big reasons why. It's a shame that a group that has the talent, the visuals, the popularity, and the makings to carry on the 21 legacy is being held back. Blackpink, for the most part, had a big delay between extended plays and had their initial marketing and hype wasted. And more recently, we have Katie Kim, one of the most promising singers that came out of K-Pop Star 4. And she was signed by YG Entertainment for her awesome potential and just wowing the audiences and judges on that show back in 2015. And she sat in the YG dungeon for 3 years and never really debuted. So she actually had to leave YG in 2018 to go with Axis Entertainment. And then from there she debuted. A lot of the artists get stuck in this thing called the YG dungeon. And I know a lot of fans joke about the YG dungeon because YG artists get stuck in that purgatory, that limbo, after they release a new album, promote it for a couple of weeks, and then are largely forgotten. But I feel the YG dungeon definitely has some truth to it. And it's pretty sad because there's a lot of talent in that dungeon, so to say. I feel that many artists, after they've been in the K-pop game for a while, want to express themselves and to expand more, whether that's a solo career or into acting or going on TV variety shows. But I feel with YG, they don't give many of their artists that opportunity. And the next one is that YG so far has failed to develop the next Big Bang or 21. And it's not because they haven't tried. As mentioned earlier, they had Winner and iKon, as well as Blackpink that's trying to duplicate the success of Big Bang or 21. And it's not easy to do so because Big Bang and 21 are very iconic groups. Just because of the lack of focus and marketing that we talked about earlier, I felt those 3 groups were not given the best chance to succeed. And I feel that YG needs to focus more on developing the next big group and not to give up on them despite how many sales they sell or whatnot, especially trying to groom into being the next cornerstone of the YG Entertainment family. Moving on, we do have to talk about the recent failure of Mixnine and the black mark that it left on YG Entertainment. Now, I did a video on this called The Sad Tale of Mixnine, and if you guys want more detail on how that show went, please check out the link. But to sum it up, YG has a music reality show called Mixnine, and at the very end of the show, they'll have a group of boys and a group of girls, which will fight it out, and one of them will be the winners and debut as a group. Pretty much like Produce 101. They basically had false advertising and pretty much lied to both the contestants and audience that a group would be debuting from this TV show. It really just shattered the trust of YG because why go on a TV show or do anything actually when you're not promised the end result? So the next thing is the bad marketing and exposure of YG artists. Now, during the time I went to Korea, I've been to so many music festivals. And if you guys don't know, a music festival is basically where it's an event where a slew of artists from various companies go out to perform. 10, 20, 30 different labels coming out, performing, and learning new songs and artists. But YG very rarely went out to these music festivals, such as like the Dream Concert, for instance. And YG would only go out to the biggest concerts, such as the Mama Awards, or host their own concert. But they would rarely be on the public music concerts. And I felt that a lot of the YG artists needed that exposure. Not to mention, it's rare that a YG artist would go on a TV show, unless it's like a YG-led TV show. And I feel that YG is really just banking on their brand name and the company that housed Big Bang. And speaking of Big Bang, I've read an article recently that said that Big Bang made YG Entertainment, not the other way around. And I actually agree with that statement. The reason why is that Big Bang is so influential in terms of sales, the rise of the Hallyu and K-pop in the world, that a lot of music journalists and media rank Big Bang as one of the 3 top groups of modern K-pop. And some media even say Big Bang is the #1 male group of modern K-pop of all time. And I feel that Big Bang actually made the YG brand it is now, because after 2006, YG's brand name and profitability exploded. Big Bang and 21 were the cornerstones of the YG family and why so many people came to love YG. But I feel with Big Bang currently being on hiatus due to military service, 21 being disbanded, and Psy leaving the label, I felt that YG lost a lot of their brand name and recognition. And there's some other issues as well, such as YG creating YGX, which is like their subsidiary or a sub-label that's managed by YG, which is headed by Big Bang Seungri, and of course High Ground, which is led by Epik High's Tableau, and they promote Korean alternative and indie music such as, hip-hop, folk, R&B, ballad, etc. And I would hate to see YG just taking direct control of these subsidiaries, because I think those sub-labels are doing a great job of being part of the YG label, but given full autonomy and independence from the YG core. And it needs to stay that way. I'll say this, as much as I've been bashing on YG and how disappointed I am a fan of YG. I really, really love Big Bang and 21, and I hope to see them bounce back. So let's look at the positives. So the positives is the cupboard isn't bare. They still have a lot of talent within the YG dungeon. They just need to expose them more. So that brings up the next question. How can YG bounce back and become the YG that we knew in the late 2000s and 2010? I would say it's taking a lot of the criticisms that I have in this video and just reverse engineering them. So laser focusing more on a select few groups instead of doing this broad focus of what you're trying to do and always like switching to a new group to promote. Just laser focus on a few groups. So in that case, maybe Winner or iKon or Blackpink. The next thing is let your artists go on more music festivals or be on TV or even act in movies. It would give a lot more exposure to the artists as well as the YG label. Next, don't do any more TV shows for a while because Mixnine didn't look so good for the label. And next, keep the independent labels such as High Ground totally autonomous and independent from the YG core. I do think YG definitely still has that, creative feel, that more of the independent feel, promoting more non-K-pop feel for a mainstream K-pop label. And YG needs to maintain that image because it's the image that made YG popular in the first place. So hopefully YG bounces back. And next year, I can make a video of how YG came back so strong and they're the YG that we all knew and loved. So guys, what do you think about this video? Are you guys YG fans? Do you guys think I'm overreacting a bit and thinking that YG is slowly declining? Or do you agree with me? I'd love to hear your comments in the comments below. And if you guys want to learn a thrilling K-pop story on how I broke into the K-pop industry as a foreign journalist into media, and all the life lessons I learned and how it can help your life, then please sign up for my free email list and download that free ebook below. So with that being said, I'm off to watch another K-pop video, but I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.